Oh man, I love chess. It's one of the most iconic board games of all time. So when I first heard that they were finally doing a chess archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm glad that they are finally doing a proper chess archetype. I've been in the tank, I've been cooking, I've got two chess-related builds that I want to show you guys. I'm also going to show you a couple of the one-card combos that I like to use with them. I'm going to start off with this one. This is going to be White Forest Angelechy, and later on in the video, I'm going to show you a yummy Angelechy combo. I know that a lot of people are saying like Elf Note is really good. There's a lot of combos. These are the two that I have found I just personally enjoy the most. Half because I really like White Forest, it's one of my favorite decks. And for the Yummy one, I've never really tried Yummy, even during its whole hype. But I figured, look, I'll give it a try now. And I'm so happy with it that I did, because it works. It is very, very fun to play with Angelechy. So let's start with the White Forest one. I believe we are just on the 40 card list. If we're not, then you'll see in a moment. We'll start with, so we're going to start with White Forest Angelechy, and I know my hair's a mess. I really need to get it cut. We'll start with White Forest Angelechy. So we're going to start things off with some of the basic starters. So we're going to go 3 copies of LZ of the White Forest. 1 copy of Elza Azamina of the White Forest, 3 copies of Sylvie of the White Forest, and basically that's mostly all the White Forest monsters. We're going to be running the Tails, the regular spell card Searcher, 3 copies of the Field Spell, Witch of the White Forest, and we're also going to be running Symbols Boys of Slumber Morian. This is going to be our search off of Elza Azamina when we use the Synchro Summon, because we are not playing any Azamina cards. This is a pure Synchro deck. Also, if you can, I would recommend running Harmonia on this. I just don't have any copies of Harmonia, so I've tried to make a build that I think works without Harmonia. Obviously, it's really strong, but I don't have it, so I can't really run it, but this deck can 100% be running Harmonia. But yeah, so that's basically all of the White Forest stuff. You don't really need much more than that. This is basically just your entire engine, just because the White Forest is really good at getting into a level 8 Synchro reliably, and that's going to be a bridge. We'll get to that in just a moment. But that is all of the White Forest cards that you theoretically are going to be running. Next up is just the Diabell package. Diabell's the White Witch, Diabell Star Vengeance, Philia Diabell, and Curse of Diabell. Your small Diabell package, basically this is just to get you monster destruction protection and Diabell Star Vengeance on the field, which is an amazing point of interaction for your opponent's turn, especially if you have 2 Diabell monsters on your field. And now we get into the fun stuff. So now we actually get go into the Angelechy stuff. So we're going to be running 3 copies of the Field Spell Angelechy Problem. This card is basically the foundation of the entire deck. It's basically the chessboard. It is the chessboard. Apart from that, we're going to be running 2 copies of Angelechy Disturbance. The reason why I chose to run 2, a lot of people are running just 1. I chose to run 2 because it's really well, and it synergizes perfectly with White Forest. So a lot of the times, I would open just a hand of LZ of the White Forest and Angelechy Disturbance. If I go LZ pitching the Disturbance, I can then go Disturbance affecting Graveyard, banish it to add the Field Spell, and if I get one other spell or trap card in my hand, which I am almost certainly going to be doing through the combo, I can just pitch it for the full Angelechy combo. So Disturbance, I like to run 2 because I can pitch it as a starter in White Forest, and then I can also search it to set it as an interruption on my opponent's turn later on. So I think Disturbance running 2 copies is amazing in White Forest especially, but in a lot of other decks you just choose to run the 1. And then of course, opening to E4, essentially a hand trap if you're going second. It's just amazing. It gets you everything you need. It gets the Field Spell, it gets you a monster, and it gets you something in the spell and trap zone. You get the lock set up immediately if you draw this card. Plus, if you play correctly, you can also add like a Disturbance or something for your next turn. So you basically don't even go negative in your hand because you're replacing the E4 with maybe a Disturbance or even another E4. It's your choice. But you're not even going negative when you activate this card, which is absolutely mind-blowing. It is ridiculous, but that is that. And finally, it is going to be Witness of the Ancient. Love this overframe. Also, a bit of a hot take. I probably think that, I honestly think that the normal ultra rare of these overframes, I would argue that they look a lot nicer than the Starlight versions. Hot take, I know, very, very hot take, but I like the ultra frame versions a lot more. The Starlight ones, they kind of block out the text to make it a little bit harder to read the card. So I just like the ultra versions, and I just like the ultra versions. Hot take, judge me if you want. This is just what I like. But also, back to the card. Witness of the Ancient is basically a card custom designed for Angelechy. You can summon this card if you've got a Synchro monster on your field or graveyard. So if you hard draw this card, it's still really good. Then you just, on summon, you place your Angelechy cards from your extra deck face up in your spell and trap zone, and you summon a token equal to the monster ones you have placed. So you can place up between 1, 2, and 3. So if you place 1, you can make a level 1 token, 2 level 2 token, 3 level 3 token, and then you can use that in this guy with Synchro Summon, because this guy's a tuner, and the token you summon is not. So Witness of the Ancient, really amazing card, really, really perfect for the deck. Basically, yeah, just like I said, a custom card for Angelechy. And then that's basically all that we're running in the main deck for the regular stuff. So we're just going to go into non-engine here. Thankfully, we can run quite a fair bit of non-engine. So we're going to run 3 copies of the standard stuff. So 3 Fua, 3 Ash. We're going to be running 3 Imperms and 2 copies of Spark. I'm running Imperms and Spark mostly because I'm running White Forest and I want as many spell and traps in the deck as possible. I think I had a look. There are 16 spells and traps, and there are 24, there are 16 monsters and there are 24 spells and traps. So the chances of actually opening a spell and trap card are pretty high. But even still, I just wanted to maximize as many of those chances as possible. So I'm playing Impermanent Spark over anything like Ghost Spells or Harmonias. Again, if you can run Harmonia, I still recommend running Harmonia. It's still amazing. But I only really put these in just because I don't have any Harmonias. Mostly the Sparks. I mostly put the Sparks in because I don't have Harmonias, and I was like, okay, let me just find a budget option. And Sparks work well. They do the job. Also, I say budget option. Spark is still extremely expensive. I just happen to own Sparks and I don't own Harmonias. I don't know. Alright, anyways, moving on. We're going to be running 2 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. This card is really good. It's always been good in White Forest, but it also works for Angelechy. If you get hand trapped out of your White Forest cards and you can't really do anything with them, you just go Thrust and you set the opening. You set the opening to E4, and then you can activate this on your opponent's draw phase, and then you just immediately get your full Angelechy stuff. You get your lock, you get the field spell, you get everything you need, and then basically you just do what you can with the White Forest cards. So you can even just go into the regular White Forest combo and just have Thrust to set the opening on your opponent's turn, so then you can go into full Angelechy stuff there. Next up is just going to be the 2 classics, Triple Tactics Talents and Call by the Grave. 2 instrumental cards that I think you should be running in every main deck you can. These 2 cards are wildly overpowered. Not to the point where they're extremely broken, but drawing them can make or break a game. It's not like shifter levels of floodgate it's not like shifter or draw levels of floodgate your opponent into the abyss so they can't play. But if you strategically take an opponent's monster off of talent, or you shuffle one of their starters back when they hand trap you, that can win you a game by itself. And then if you call by one of your opponent's engine pieces or the floodgate hand traps like Droll or Fua or Shifter, it can also win you the game. So these 2 cards, I would recommend putting them in every main deck that you possibly can. That is the extent of how powerful they are, especially in this format. Alright, but that is going to be the main deck. We'll move on to the extra deck right now. So we're going to go through the White Forest cards pretty quickly. So we've got 1 copy of Diabell, 1 copy of Arciela, 1 copy of Silvera, 1 copy of Poplar, and Poplar's relevant synchro target, Snake Eye's Vengeance Dragon. So this is just your standard White Forest lineup. This is just all of the White Forest synchros that you really go into, and White Forest synchro cards, because essentially Vengeance Dragon is an honorary White Forest card. You just summon Poplar, and then you synchro it and maybe like Vengeance or one of your other level 8s to summon Vengeance Dragon. So it is essentially an honorary White Forest card. But what I like to do a lot of the time is if I couldn't get to the bridge card, I would mostly just end on Diabell. Diabell adds back any spell and trap in my graveyard, so I can just, if I've pitched Disturbance to search the field spell, I can also just add it back if I've already got access to the field spell and I don't need to banish the Disturbance for it. So Diabell's really good. It helps you cycle back your Angelechy stuff, your Angelechy spell and traps from your graveyard, and then of course the rest of the White Forest cards are kind of self-explanatory. Their power level is what they do, and what they do very, very well. Alright, but now we get to the fun cards. So now we get to go into the Angelechy stuff. So we're going to be running 2 Shatrangas, 1 Bastion, 2 Destriers, and 1 Enlisted. So this ratio, I do kind of want to explain my choice of this ratio specifically. So I decided on just the 1 Enlisted because most of the time you're just going to be summoning this guy and then immediately sending it to your opponent. And when it enters your opponent field, mandatory effect, you shuffle it back into the extra deck to be able to summon it out again and again and again. So this one is really good. The two Destriers, a lot of people are just running 2 as well. This is pretty standard. If you can get 2 in your spell and trap zone, every card effect your opponent does burns them for 1,000 points of damage on resolution. Yeah, pretty good. Bastion, you only ever play 1. I don't think you should ever play more than 1. 1 is plenty. 1 is more than enough. It's destruction protection for all your Angelechy cards, and when it's placed, you just place the Shatranga immediately, which is really, really good. So there's that too. That's amazing. And then, of course, you've got Shatranga, which is, oh my goodness, this card is ridiculous. Absolutely disgusting. It's kind of relevant as to why it is the king of the archetype, of course, because it is literally just the big boss guy of Angelechy. Because the whole plan with Shatranga is you want to place it on want to have Shatranga on your field almost all the time. I think the only time you don't want it is you're up against a deck like Sky Striker, which doesn't use a lot of monster effects. In that case, you just go for the 2 Destriers. But there's a lot of different ways that you can go into, but Shatranga is amazing. On place, it adds a trap card, so as I mentioned, when you cycle Disturbance to get the field spell, you can just add another one off of Shatranga. And the 5 monster lock. A lot of people don't like Shatranga, but everybody, and I mean everybody that I've played this deck against at my locals, have unanimously agreed that this deck is a quote-unquote fair and balanced floodgate. Because the thing is, there is a very reliable out to the Shatranga lock that a lot of decks are either playing or have very easy access to. You just don't destroy it. If you banish it, if you return it to the hand, that bypasses everything. If you can do that in under 5 monster effects, which a lot of decks are capable of doing, the lock is gone, and you can play the game again. Like, I know a lot of people hate the Angelechy stuff, but it is really nowhere near as bad as people think it is. Take SP Little Knight, for example. You summon SP, you target Shatranga and banish it, lock is gone, you can keep playing the game, you just can't attack directly for the rest of the turn, but you probably weren't going to be able to at that point, because even if you can out the lock, you've got to remember there's still going to be a bunch of the White Forest cards on the field that you're going to have to deal with as well. But like I said, if you go for an SP and banish it, that doesn't matter, because you're not going to be able to you're not really going to be attacking directly anyways, unless you're playing a heavy breaker style deck. But that's the thing. There are so many reliable ways to out Shatranga and out the lock that this deck gets a lot more hate than I think it deserves, because it's actually quite reasonable, and it really is just like playing chess. Your opponent has a certain few moves to win before they lose their ability to use monster effects. So it's pretty interesting. And then the honorary chess card is going to be Glitch Clutch Nullgainer. So this card, when it's summoned, you search a level 8 or higher monster with 0 attack points. That is going to be Witness of the Ancient. So you search this card and you summon Witness of the Ancient, which is really, really good. And then you can also use Witness of the Ancient. So what I like to do is I like to use Witness of the Ancient and the token I like to use them to summon Chaos Angel. Not just the light Chaos Angel, but that's still really, really good because you're playing heavy synchro deck. You just want to protect your synchro effects from monsters from card effects. And then Null Gainer can revive the Witness the Ancient. The problem there is obviously Witness the Ancient then can't be used as Synchro Fusion Link because his material. However, you can summon this card. Ultimaya Zolkin isn't a normal Synchro summon. So in order to summon it, you have to send the monsters from the same level that are level 7 or above from your field's graveyard, one a tuner and a non-tuner, to summon it. This isn't a Synchro summon. This is a send for cost to summon. It's a weird situation. It's kind of like how what's the card's name? One of the Albion guys, Albulinatus, that also sends for cost. It is not a fusion summon. So that's why Ultimaya Zolkin is really good. And then of course you can just set a spell trap to summon a level 7 ray dragon. I chose to go for Zaylin. The only reason I'm playing Zaylin over Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is because I am playing a White Forest field. And Diabell can summon Zaylin off of its own effect. Otherwise, I would 100% be recommending Crystal Wing, but in White Forest specifically, Zaylin all the way. Because even if you can't get into Ultimaya Zolkin, you can still summon Zaylin off of Diabell, and it is still going to be useful. So yeah, Diabell right here can easily summon out Zaylin as well, because it is a level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster. So Diabell can make use of it, which makes Zaylin much better than Crystal Wing in this deck. But if you're not playing White Forest, if you're playing another engine, I would probably just go for Crystal Wing at that point. Next up, we are going to be running the extra deck. Sorry, not the extra deck, the side deck, sorry. So in the side deck, we are going to be running 3 copies of Mulchnami Purulia. Was very tempted to put this in the main deck if it wasn't for the fact that I am playing Opening to E4, which places cards on my field, so Purulia and the Fua cards are a little bit weaker. I would still say it is definitely worth. There is a world where you can play this deck in the main. It is 100% doable. Purulia is so powerful in this next format because almost every deck will be summoning something from the hand. Whether it's Cool Tune, normal summoning from the hand, whether it's branded special summoning from the hand with like Cartesia or Albi or Fallen of Albaz, the White Albaz, or Ecclesia. There's going to be a lot of decks that are summoning from the hand these days, especially Ritual of Light and Darkness. Ritual of Light and Darkness, their whole thing is Mind Shuffle, where they tag out to summon something from the hand. So Purulia is really, really powerful this format. Also, Droll. It's Droll and Lockbird. I don't need to say any more, but Droll does still hit. It does still hit a fair few of the decks. Branded is kind of falling out of the meta at the moment, for what I'm seeing. A lot of people still playing it, but it is definitely not like one of the top decks anymore in Chaos Origins. Ritual Light and Darkness, it kind of works for Ritual Light and Darkness. It depends on what they're opening and what sub-engine they're playing. If they're playing branded sub-engine and they're going for something with that, then it can be a little bit difficult. But like, there are times when Droll comes up against Rolad, but yeah, just be careful. I don't know, just be careful, because Droll, it's good against some decks, and then it's kind of bad against other decks. And again, it all depends on the hand, as it always has. But yeah, still, Droll is Droll. It's amazing. Next up, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Ghost Veil and 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. Just some hand traps that I thought were going to be really impactful and really strong in the format. Ghost Ogre, really good against Mind Shuffle for Ritual Light and Darkness, and also just from removing a body, say if you're up against Cool Tune. If they go for JJ, tributing a tuner for cost, you can just Ghost Ogre, destroy the JJ. It can't resolve because it's no longer on the field, which is really, really good. And you can also just do it so like they normal summon Rico effect to add. You just Ghost Ogre, get the Rico off the field, and then they're down a monster. So Ghost Ogre is really, really good. We're also going to be running a copy of Simple Foils of Subvergent Snake Eye. This is the going second option for Elza Azamina. Because normally, as I showed you, we would normally be searching the copy of the Civil Souls of Slumber Morian. This is more for going first, so if you're going second, I would side this out and put in the Subvergent Snake Eye. It is a searchable card that can actually interrupt your opponent, whereas Morian is more of a going first, extra engine sort of discard fodder stuff, you know. Next up, we're going to be playing 1 Lightning Storm and 1 Harpy Feather Duster. I chose to only run 1 Lightning Storm because I'm running Triple Tactics Thrust. If I'm not running Thrust, 2 Storm and 1 Feather Duster. But because I've got Thrust, I can just search these cards if I need to, so I figured 1 is more than enough. And speaking of Thrust, I'm also running Different Dimension Ground as well. Standard card, it hits a lot of the decks. It hits a lot of decks. Really powerful, really impactful, really hard for your opponent to play around it. I'm next also going to be running Solemn Judgment and Solemn Accusation. I was very tempted to play more than 1 copy of Accusation. I was tempted to even play all the way up to 3. Problem is my friends at the moment are borrowing my 2 copies of Accusation. So I only have the 1 copy to show you guys. But if I were to say to boost Accusation all the way up to 3, I would probably cut either Ghost Spell or Ghost Ogre. My suggestion would probably be the Ghost Ogre. As good as Ghost Ogre is sometimes, it is a little bit situational, whereas Ghost Spell is always going to come up at some point or another. Ghost Ogre is definitely a little bit situational, but I would definitely say that Ghost Ogre is just really powerful and you should run it. If you have the space. So I would probably side out 2 Ghost Ogres for 2 more Solemn Accusations. If you have the cards, if you only have 1 Accusation, this build will do you perfectly fine. But yeah, so that is going to be the deck profile for White Forest. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a 1-card combo that you can do, which is pretty much just LZ and any spell trap card. I'm just going to say for the pity's sake, it's going to be Thrust. So I'll show you just a little bit of a 1-card combo that this deck can do. So you want to go LZ's effect, you pitch the spell trap card, you summon the LZ, and then you add a copy of Sylvie to your hand. You then normal summon the Sylvie, and with Sylvie's effect, you add the copy of Tales of the White Forest. And then you can synchro these 2 away, send them to the graveyard. You get Arciella onto the field. RCL effect, you pitch for cost a copy of Tails, which will then reset itself on a new chain. This will allow you to add a copy of the field spell, Witch of the White Forest. Now, you do still need to be careful, because in your extract you are running a few dark cards like Zaylin, Zolkin, Chaos Angel, Null Gainer, but mostly the rest of the cards are all lights, so you want to hold on to the Witch as long as you can. Obviously on resolution, Tails will reset itself. Then you're going to activate Tails while you still have Illusional Spellcaster on your field. You use its effect in order to add Elsa as a Mina to your hand, which is going to be the last bit of material that you're going to need. Then you can go Elsa as a Mina to special it from the hand, and then you're going to synchro these 2 away, and you can go for Diabell. Now, if you've already opened an opening to E4 or something, or an opening to E4 or the Angelechy field spell, I would just go for Diabell, because then you can just use those cards to get your Angelechy combo going by themselves. But I want to show you a good 1-card combo that this deck can do. So instead, we're summoning Glitch Clutch Null Gainer. And I'll put in the extra monster zone. It's a little bit hard to see, so this is the extra monster zone, for example. You'll see it in a moment, but yeah. So on a new chain resolution, we're going to go chain 1 Glitch Clutch Null Gainer, which is going to add Witness to the Ancient, and we're going to go chain 2 Elsa Azamina. Just a chain block mostly, but it does let you get the Symbol Spores of Slumber Mori into your hand for an extra discard fodder, which is also really good, because if you've already got the Angelechy, like the field spell, you can just place the field spell and then discard the Morian, which can reset itself. So that's another really good way of doing that. But anyways, to resolve the chain, we will also get the Witness of the Ancient to the field. And then from here, we can just go Witness of the Ancient to special summon itself, because we have a Synchro monster on the field or in the graveyard. Then on the summon, we are going to place both a copy of Bastion and a copy of Destria into the spell and trap zones. And we're going to get a token. I have a token right here. Sure, this Pikachu can be the token. The Pikachu can be the token. So it is. So since we placed 2 cards into the spell and trap zone, this token is a level 2. And then these both will trigger immediately when they're placed. So we'll go chain 1 Destria to add an Angelechy spell card, and chain 2 Bastion to place the king from our X deck into our face-up spell and trap zone. So now we have the king as well, and Destria is going to help by adding a copy of Angelechy Problem. And then once again, on a new chain, Shatranga, the king, is going to let us add an Angelechy trap card. Ideally, I would probably choose the copy of Disturbance here. That's probably what I would go, but you don't have to. It's completely up to you. You don't really need to. But what you can do here is then you go these two. You want to send these two to the graveyard. We'll put the token back here for now. And then you make your light Chaos Angel. Put in defense. Monsters can still be destroyed by battle, but it's still light Chaos Angel. And it's really good because now you can go Glitch Clutch Null Gainer to revive Witness of the Ancient. And then you can send both to the graveyard, not a Synchro Summon, for Ultimaya Zolkin. And then all you really need to do is you can just set the Angelechy Problem, not activate it, but if you set Angelechy Problem to your field spell zone, that will still trigger Zolkin's effect, specialing out Zaylin to the field. And then you can then after that, you can then activate Angelechy Problem. And then if you really want, you can, as I said, you can use the effect pitching the Morion. So if you really want to be overkill, essentially, you can summon Enlisted to your field, and you can place Destria in your spell and trap zones. Yeah, keep in mind, now you have a 5-monster lock and burn your opponent for 1000 on resolution of any card effect. Pretty scary. Pretty damn scary, I will say. And then, now that you've gone Problem, you don't actually need Problem anymore. You've got what you need, so you can send the Problem to activate Witch of the White Forest. Witch of the White Forest will then allow you to add the Diabell's the White Witch. So then you've got this in your hand. You can activate its effect, sending the Witch to the graveyard. You summon the copy of Diabell's. You go for its effect to pitch the Curse of Diabell to the graveyard. Curse of Diabell will then add a Diabell spell trap card. That's going to be Philia. You can then activate the Philia over here. I'll put this just in my hand for now. And then Philia is going to add the copy of Diabellstar Vengeance, which you can then summon by banishing any spell and any trap. So just go for Philia and Curse for now. You're going to get many more trap cards in the graveyard, and you don't really want to banish Morion. You can keep it for later easily. So you summon the Vengeance. Because of Philia's effect, Diabell's and Vengeance will both be at 3000 attack points. And then you can set the copy of the Disturbance face down your field, and that is your end board. So this is what I like to say, probably the strongest Angelechy White Forest end board that you can make. That is just a 1-card combo. There are a lot stronger boards that you can make. For example, you can maybe replace take out the Zolkin and the Zaylin. You can maybe put a Diabell in there, which can also get you the Zaylin as well. But there are a lot of different ways. I would say this is definitely the strongest 1.5, because you have to pitch a spell card, but technically 1-card combo, just off of an LZ. This is the full board. Your opponent is going to get burned for 1000 points of damage on resolution of any of their card effects. They have 5 monster effect activations before they can't activate anymore. You have the ability to pop something immediately, and then you can also summon out, well, you can't really summon out because your board is a little bit full. It is a little bit full, so that is something to keep in mind, but you can just pop something that they might be needing for their combos. Your Synchro monsters have protection. You have basically an Omni Negate, because keep in mind, you can activate in the graveyard your Sylvie, targeting the Arciela in the graveyard at any point you want, in order to shuffle the Arciela back and attempt to summon Sylvie, which you can then use to trigger Zaylin in order to chain block and Omni Negate something. You also then have Disturbance to give your opponent control of Enlisted, burn one of their monster effects to cycle the Enlisted out for the final remaining Angelechy card in your X deck, which is another Shatranga. That is another reason why I recommend playing 2 copies of Shatranga instead of just 1 in this deck. It makes the end combo very, very good. But that is going to be what I've got for the Angelechy White Forest. So I will join you guys in just a moment, because I'm then going to show you guys the Angelechy Yummy core strategy. Alright, so this is my Yummy Angelechy deck list. The only reason as to why I don't have it in the full version is, well, there's a couple of factors. The first is that I only own 1 copy of Marshmallow, And the second reason is that since I spent, since I've already got the White Forest and Angelechy deck sleeved, I honestly just could not be bothered to go through the process of re-sleeving everything to do it all over again. I know, I'm picky. But anyways, I'll run through basically a bunch of things. I will show you the one card combo in, just in paper, because I do have the deck partially built. It's just, it doesn't have like hand traps or whatever. But I do have most of the deck built. So I can show you the one card combo that the deck is capable of doing. But yeah, I'll explain briefly some of my choices. So you want to go for as many starters of the yummies as possible, because any one yummy is a one card starter. In reference, you're also running 3 copies of Pure Rice Map. It's just giving you an extra yummy starter. You add Cupsy, then you normal Cupsy, and then you've got everything you need. I am only running 1 copy of Disturbance and 1 copy of Opening to E4. The reason why, I really don't like seeing Opening to E4. This deck really does not like to see it, because Opening E4 says, until the end of your next turn, after this card resolves, you cannot summon for the extra deck except Synchro Monsters. And what is the most important part of getting your Yummy combo started? Yummy Snatchy. So if you cannot summon Link monsters, you're in a little bit of a pickle. I do still think keep one Opening to E4, because if you're going first, you get hand trapped, you go thrust, set Opening to E4, activate it, full Angelechy stuff on your next turn. That's still amazing, because then you can just go summon Snatchy and Link Karibo, and then everything else left in your extra deck is Synchro Monsters, so then you don't care about them. But going second, most of the time, I side out Opening to E4, because I don't want to see it. I want to be able to get Snatchy on the field, so I would side out Opening for Santa Claus, or Dominus Spark, or Perulia, or Droll, or something like that. By the way, Santa Claus is amazing this format. I would highly recommend playing it if you can. It's very, very powerful. It almost kills Light and Darkness Ritual on the spot, because they can't bounce a level 6 off of the Mind Shuffle trap. So if you just Kaiju over the Dark Magician of Black Chaos guy, the new ritual Dark Magician, the new ritual Black Chaos guy, you Kaiju over that, their back row is now able to be destroyed, and they can't bounce it for the Black Luster Soldier that's probably sitting in their hand. So really, really good Santa Claus. Spark again, monster removal, just really good spot removal. Droll is Droll, Perulia is Perulia, Duster is Duster, 2 Accusations and Judgment. I recommended 2 Accusations. Again, I really don't think you need any more. And the same reason I chose to run 1 copy of just Duster. I'm not even running Lightning Storm, because of how I feel about the Angelechy stuff, because you're mostly just going to have cards on your field as well, and Lightning Storm mostly going to be offline, and the deck doesn't entirely, it's not entirely that worried about back row, so if you're going second, you're going to be in a rough spot no matter what. So, and finally, Anti-Spell Fragrance, just basically almost an instant win card in this format for going first, and basically, yeah, I'm only wanting 1 copy of Stronger here, but that's because I needed the extra deck space for a lot of my other stuff. So, Martial Metal Marcher and Cupid Pitch, they are your, they are part of the bridge in order how do you get Yummy to summon Glitch Clutch Nullgainer. Kulchun back to back. This is a fun tech that I've discovered that works really, really well with Angelechy Yummy specifically, because you go through all the Mana Marcher Cube Pitch, you summon Glitch Clutch Nullgainer, you search the So okay, well I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, Kulchun back to back. It is a really fun tactic that I've discovered with this deck that I think works really well. And yeah, you know what? I'm not going to wait to show you. Let's just get into the IRL combos and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so this is going to be the next combo. This basically just relies on a cookie and any card that can be used as a discard. So this is going to be the Yummy, Angelechy Yummy 1 card combo. So yeah, this is just with cookie and 1 discard, can be literally anything. So all it is, start by normal summon cookie, and then you link summon it into the copy of the Snatchy. Snatchy effect will place the field spell, so you get the Mignon. And basically it's just going to be standard yummy combo for a little bit, but not all yummy, I promise you that. So your Mignon, target the cookie, special back. Again, this could be cookie, it could be a marshmallow, it could be a lollipop, it could be a cupsy, it all does the same. The whole combo still works perfectly fine. So then you just go these two, you synchro them off, and you summon out the cupsy Yummy Way. And then you go cupsy effect, you can add it to Yummy cards, you add 2 more names, and you're going to discard the random card. So in this situation, we'll get a marshmallow and a cupsy, and then we'll just discard the random card. So the random card is gone, we don't need that anymore. In fact, we'll put that in the bottom. That is just a completely irrelevant discard, we don't care about that. Then we can just go special cupsy, and we can go cupsy effect to add a copy of surprise. We're only wanting the 1 copy of surprise because you're just going to search it off. It's your search off cupsy anyways, and you can just get it back off of marshmallow as well. Speaking of marshmallow, we're actually going to go surprise here to resummon the cookie from the graveyard, and then we can go marshmallow factor special, and then marshmallow effects to add back the surprise to hand, and that's just going to stay on our hand. It's going to be a part of our end board. In fact, we could probably set it right here if we wanted to. It would just be a part of our own. So then we are going to link F off any one of these 3. We link it off and we summon out the Link Karibo. Basically, this is just going to mean that now we have our links out of the graveyard. So out of the extra deck, sorry. So now everything in the extra deck is now our synchro monsters. So then we can synchro off Cookie and Link Karibo. We'll send these 2 and summon out the Lollipo. So we get Lollipo Yummy Way. We'll put Lollipo Yummy Way up here for now. Lollipo Yummy Way is going to revive 2, which will negate their effects as well. So we get Cookie and Marshmallow. These 2 have their effects negated. Cupsy is still live. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go Lollipo and one of the negated monsters. We are going to synchro summon into Marshall Metal Marcher. Marshall Metal Marcher is going to revive a tuna monster, which is going to be the Lollipo. Lollipo's effects will be negated though. Keep this in mind. This will come up. Wow. There's a reason why we won't be leaving it on the field, but we'll get there. Anyways, we'll synchro summon with Marshall Metal Marcher and Cookie. This is going to get us into a Cupid Pitch. Cupid Pitch is going to change its level. This level is going to match the level of the tuna monster that was used to it, so it gains 3 levels because Marshall Metal Marcher is a level 3. So this now becomes a level 7. So we can synchro this and the Cupsy that is left on our field, and this gets us into Glitch Clutch Melgainer, which gets us into our bridge. The same with Y Forest. It's going to help us by searching. I think I'll just grab my one. I've been lazy. I've not bothered just re-sleeving or doing anything with the other cards, so I'm just gonna grab the Witness of the Ancient that is from the White Forest Angelechy deck that I've got sitting right next to me. I'm lazy. I can't be bothered. But anyways, we grab Witness of the Ancient, then we can use its effect to special itself. We go for the effect once again. We will be placing... Actually, in this situation, we're probably just going to want to place the Bastion and the Shatranga. Since we only have 1 copy of the King, the Bastion won't be able to trigger. Shatranga, however, will. Once again, I'm just going to be... Unless I already have them in here. No, oh, no, I do. So we're going to add a copy of Disturbance. And that's going to be where that part goes. But you can also just go for the big combo as well of just like, oh, get this guy and also get the horse on the field. If you already have like the field spell in hand, for example, you can just set these 2 with Witness of the Ancient. And then what you can do is you can just activate the field spell. So then you can place this and you've still got 2 spells and trap zones available for surprise and disturbance as well. So that's really good. In fact, for this situation, we'll just do the normal one because obviously we don't have the field spell in hand. So we'll just do these 2, which lets us add the field spell, which again, I'm just gonna be lazy and take one from here. Yeah, I'm not that creative, guys. Don't worry, I'm not that creative. Anyways, we've got the field spell and we've got this now. So then what we can do is then obviously Bastion will then play Stronger, and Stronger obviously gets us the trap card. So that is what the board looks like now. And of course we have the token. And I believe I had a fancy looking yummy token somewhere. Where did I put it? I forget. Oh, here it is. There we go. So, fancy little yummy field center token. And then anyways, what we do here is we're going to go these two. This and the token. I'm going to use these two to summon out. I'll move this over to the extra deck here. So this is going to get our light Chaos Angel. Once again, going to be lazy and steal it from here. So anyways, here we go, light Chaos Angel. And you remember how Lollipo had no effects? Well, this is then the moment that we synchro the Lollipo and the Glitch Clutch Null Gainer away. So now we're turning two essentially useless monsters into a really good monster in Cool Tune back to back. And then you just set surprise, then you can set surprise. If you've got another spell trap in hand, you can go problem as well and do the combo I mentioned earlier. Whereas you set these two off of the Witness of the Ancient, and then problem, you can summon the Enlisted and place Destry in your spell and trap zone. But if you don't, you probably just set the... You can probably just set the Disturbance. It's not really going to be doing that much because you don't have the pawn on your field. But if you have another spell trap card in your hand, you can go send Mignon, activate problem, and then you go problem, pitch spell and trap card to place Destria, and also you get to summon Enlisted, which is a lot better. So if you've got two spells and trap, so basically, yeah. This combo is off of one of these, one discard, and just one random spell trap card. So like Piri Rice map that you don't really want to use, for example. Basically, that is, just off of that, a random spell trap card, any card for discard, and one of your yummy starters get you all of this. So it's pretty damn good. Back to back. Lets you revive your tuna synchro monsters, your yummy tunas, so you can get back Lollipo, you can get back, where is it? Witness of the Ancient. You can basically just get back any of your synchro monsters and get them available again. You've got a Cupsy on the field that you've still got available, obviously, and that would mean just full yummy combo. You've got Surprise face down, and you've got Disturbance face down to give your opponent the Enlisted. And that means you can summon the horse, because you still have a horse left in your extra deck to be able to use for it. Obviously, this strategy does burn through your extra deck a lot, but if you have ever seen any of the yummy cards before, you know that that is not a big deal. If you can, you only need like 3 cards in your extra deck at most to be able to do all the yummy stuff. So, well, okay, 4. The 3 synchros and the one link. So you only really need like 4 in the extra deck. So this is still a lot of points of interaction. You've got 500 burn, the monster lock, you've got synchro monsters unaffected, back to back, which can just revive your tuners. It also revives your hand traps, funnily enough. Then you've got all the yummy stuff off of Cupsy. Altogether, that's a graveyard that can be a graveyard banished with Lollipo, a monster pop from Cookie, 2 monster Book of Moons off of the Cookie Yummy Way. There's a lot that this board can make, so it is definitely very scary and quite decent. So yeah. But yeah, I'm going to take a moment to resort all these cards because like I said, I am not creative, and I'm just gonna see if I can figure out where everything goes and where it's meant to go. But yeah, that is going to be pretty much it for the Angelechy combos and the Angelechy strategies. I love Angelechy. I think it is an amazingly fun deck. I think it's great. I'm really happy with it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck, because I think it's a really fun deck. I think it's really good, and the unique synergies that you can make with a lot of different decks are very, 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 very fun. So I think there's a lot of potential for where Angelechy can go next. There are so many different ways that this deck is capable of, so many directions this deck is capable of taking, so many strategies that people can bridge them in with. So there's a lot of things that can be done with Angelechy. I'm just so happy that we finally get a playable, fun chess archetype now in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's actually good. Like, you can actually like properly play chest now, which is really, really fun. I'm so happy that it's actually something that can be done now, because it is one of the biggest biggest board games in the world. So I'm just really happy that Angelechy can combo well with all of this. Let me see if I can grab just a third pile. So we've got the White Forest pile, the Yummy pile, and we'll put, of course, a little Angelechy pile, because, you know, I feel like that's just deserved at this point. It's deserved for the Angelechy stuff to get their own pile. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. I really hope you guys enjoyed my showcase of what the Angelechy cards can do in these decks. And yeah, I really hope you guys like Angelechy as much as I do. This deck is so much fun. I really enjoyed this deck. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So that's going to do it for me. So until next time, until the next deck profile, have a hyper rest of your day, everybody.